Can you imagine what it's like to feel invisible, to be overlooked and unheard, even when your whole world feels like it's crumbling around you? That was the life of a young boy named Marcus, until a black milkwoman stepped in and changed everything. 20 years later, what he did to honor her will leave you speechless. It all began on a quiet, dusty street in a small neighborhood where everyone knew everyone's business, but no one dared to get involved. The sun was setting, casting a golden over cracked sidewalks and shuttered shops. Marcus was just 10 years old, a timid boy with wide eyes that carried the weight of a childhood marred by hardship. His home was far from a sanctuary. Behind closed doors, abuse simmered, harsh words, angry fists, and cold silences. Every night, Marcus prayed for an escape he didn't believe was possible. Across the street, every morning like clockwork, walked Mary, the milkwoman. She was known simply as Mary in the neighborhood, a stout woman with kind eyes that sparkled despite the worn creases on her face. Her milk cart squeaked as she made her rounds, offering fresh milk and gentle smiles to those who needed it most. No one could forget the sweet scent of cream that trailed behind her, like a soft promise of comfort in a hard world. One afternoon, as Mary delivered milk to a small porch, she noticed Marcus sitting alone on the curb, clutching his knees, eyes fixed on the cracked pavement. There was something about his silence, the way his body trembled, that tugged at her heart. She approached cautiously. "Hey there, young man," she said softly, her voice a balm against the roughness of the day. Marcus looked up, startled, unsure if anyone had ever spoken to him so kindly before. I'm sorry, ma'am," he mumbled, looking away. "I didn't mean to be in the way." Mary crouched down to his level, her hands resting gently on her knees. "You're not in anyone's way. You're just here. What's got you so quiet?" Marcus's eyes welled with tears, the floodgates opening for the first time in months. It's my dad. He gets angry. I don't want to go home." Without hesitation, Mary reached into her cart and pulled out a small bottle of milk, handing it to Marcus. "Here, drink this. It'll make you feel a little stronger." The warmth of the milk wasn't just physical, it was a lifeline. From that day forward, Mary kept a special eye on Marcus. She listened when he spoke, offered a gentle word when he didn't, and silently became the guardian angel he didn't know he had. When one evening Marcus's cries from his house grew desperate, Mary didn't hesitate. She called a neighbor, then the authorities, and stayed by Marcus's side until help arrived. Her courage was quiet but fierce. Can you imagine the fear Marcus felt, torn between loyalty and safety? But thanks to Mary's kindness, he was placed in a loving foster home and finally found a chance at a new life. Years rolled by, and Marcus grew into a man shaped not only by hardship, but by the kindness that had saved him. He worked tirelessly, fueled by a promise he had made to himself, to honor the woman who saw him when no one else did. Yet life wasn't easy. There were moments when he doubted himself, when the past threatened to consume him. But Mary's gift, the simple act of kindness, had planted a seed of hope that kept growing. 20 years later, Marcus stood at the doorstep of Mary's modest home, clutching a bouquet of fresh flowers and a letter he had written with trembling hands. The neighborhood had changed, but Mary was still there, her eyes brighter than ever. When she opened the door and saw him, the recognition sparked a flood of emotions. "I never forgot you," Marcus said, voice thick with gratitude. "You saved me when I had no one. I wanted to say thank you. Properly." Mary smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. "You were always worth saving, Marcus." That day, Marcus gave Mary a gift far greater than words, a promise that her kindness would live on in his every success and in the lives he would touch from then on. This story reminds us that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can echo across decades, changing lives in ways we can hardly imagine. It asks us to look around, to see the quiet struggles in our communities, and to be that person who steps in with courage and compassion. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and share your own stories of kindness in the comments below. Subscribe for more uplifting tales that show the power of hope and humanity. And don't miss our next story, where a single act of courage in a city park leads to an unexpected life-changing friendship. Remember, kindness is never wasted. It is the light that breaks through the darkest nights. What's the kindest thing a stranger has ever done for you? Let us know. Your story might inspire someone else today.